So I'm guessing you've seen the trailer for that new Quiet on Set documentary that's coming out all about Nickelodeon.
I have. I come across it on TikTok actually. Interesting, because I do feel like a lot of child actors do get messed up.
Yeah, I think it's something that we've like been hearing about a lot more recently than we did obviously back in kind of the early 2000s.
Yeah.
When it was kind of like the era of Nickelodeon and there were all those massive shows like iCarly, Drake and Josh, The Amanda Show. Amanda. Love that one. What was your favourite Nickelodeon show? Because I know we're from different generations.
Kenan and Kel. I think
good.
If I had to pick, I think that would probably be my favourite one.
Yeah.
The Amanda Show was
Yeah,
always,
The Amanda Show.
she just seems crazy on the show.
Yeah.
And then she became crazy in real life. But
she's not crazy.
well, she had mental health problems.
But she was messed up. I think she was really messed up from that show.
But a lot of child actors are messed up, and not even only from Nickelodeon and Disney. I mean, look at Home Alone Kid. He went through a bad time. I mean, who do we blame for this? Who do we blame for this?
That was just so philosophical of you.
No, because I was trying to think, like, do you blame Nickelodeon or the company for not picking it up? Because at the end of the trailer, I think it was one of the producers. He's like, "Oh, did that?"
They didn't know. Yeah.
They didn't know. They definitely knew.
Yeah.
The big guy, whatever his name is, Dan
Schneider.
He is an idiot.
I think the thing is with a lot of these shows, and obviously everything that went on back then, at the time, child acting was so normalized in a sense of there wasn't enough regulations and kind of boundaries put in place. Obviously you had like parents on set or whatever, but it was all very much kind of, they were just left to their own devices with all of these adults. Some of these kids were like still not even like proper teenagers yet.
Yeah.
And they were basically just shoved into the limelight and told like, okay, go work now and we're just gonna let you do you.
Who are the main names, would you say? I mean, obviously the documentary shows a few. I think Alexa is one.
Alexa Nichols, she was on Zoe 101 with Jamie Lynn Spears.
Yes. But who was the one that released a book about...
Jeanette McCurdy.
Yes. So her example, then you blame the mum. Because to me, some child actors, for me, is a product of the parent wanting to be an actor, maybe 100%. Not making it, and then forcing the child to be it. And she went through a bad time. Like the mum really wanted her to be a star and just kind of ignored anything that was happening that was bad.
I think Jeanette McCurdy is like a particularly obviously really sad situation because she was not only having to deal with the pressures of being a child actor from like the producers and the people on the show, but then she also had to live with someone who was quite literally controlling every aspect of her life. It's a very well-known situation that what went on with Nickelodeon, specifically to do with Dan Schneider, who was like, they call him in the trailer, I think they call him the golden boy of Nickelodeon.
This is when Dan Schneider arrives, Nickelodeon's golden boy.
Just so ironic because like, he was in his 40s as well.
He was such a goon. And
when
he had the Justin Bieber haircut in his like 50s.
Terrible. But he was the guy that came up with all of these shows that we're all so familiar with. Yeah. And he was kind of credited as shaping children's TV for like 2 decades.
Yeah.
And it turned out that he was just I mean, is anyone that surprised that he was a massive scumbag?
No.
Because it rings so true.
You can show me a photo and I would have been like, nonce.
We know things happened, but there's so much stuff that's still so speculatory. Like we still don't actually know the exact details. We only know what people have obviously come out and said. And there's clear patterns of abuse. Like
100%.
Like there's no doubt about that. But the guy is still living his life.
Yeah,
like he's still basically the same way off that he was before.
I have a small feeling that they probably back themselves in the NDAs. Like they're probably not allowed to say anything like, oh, if you want this role, sign this, but you're not allowed to speak about the show or anything that happens behind the scenes, blah, blah, blah. Because, I don't know, but I think that they have good lawyers.
Well, yeah, and I think also the problem is that so much of the stuff that went on is kind of that weird grey area. Like one of the things that Alexa Nichols from Zoe 101 talks about is like a really seedy situation when she was doing the show, where whenever the girls got new costumes or new outfits for like new seasons or new episodes, Dan would have to be there like in the dressing rooms when they were like getting shown their clothes, and they would have to come out and like model for him of like weird. What the and these were like teenage girls.
Was his excuse
like a 45-year-old man.
Was his excuse being like, oh, I just want to make sure it's.
It was like
right.
He had creative control, so that's why he was there. But it just gives off the seediest vibes.